As you can see, my alarm collection has branched off to include home smoke alarms. So I figured this is all I got in my collection for now. I figured I'd show them off and test them, of course. Now there's one that I won't test, and I'll get to that one. I'll get to that one, and I will have to swap out some batteries because I only have 39 volts, and I'm not pulling the one out of the actual operating smoke detector in this apartment. So, let's get started. First up is a First Alert 83R. And yes, I'm quite certain this is an 83R and not the Family Guard equivalent. There you go. This one was found right outside my front door a couple years ago, sitting on a stove while they were renovating the apartment that my now next door neighbor lives in. You can see on the date, it'll focus and it will. There's your date, September 8th of 2003. I found this in 2013, in July, I believe. So this was about 2 months away from being quote-unquote no good. Now, here's the insides of it. Got your standard BRK First Alert sensing chamber and horn. You just saw the LED flash. Of course, 9-volt powered. And it does do code 3. Next. I should have mentioned that was ionization, which all of these here are ionization. This one is a Wake and Warn Focus 055103. And I don't see a date of manufacturer on here, but I would say 80s. 90s, probably 90s. This one came out of my mother's house. This was the only smoke detector she had in the house when she bought it. So as a housewarming gift, I bought her 2 brand new photoelectric smoke detectors and a Kidda dual sensor for her basement, as well as carbon monoxide alarms. And this one does the classic 4-6 beeping. Next. This is a Lifesaver. I should have been a little bit more prepared for this, shouldn't I have? Lifesaver 0905. Standalone battery operated. This one came brand new in the box. This was an eBay find. Of course, I got that one for nostalgic reasons. And here's why. Here's why I got it. This is the cover to the 120 volt DC version, which is a 1245. This cover came out of my godmother's house. Now, when she moved into that house, I want to say late 80s, mid to late 80s. And she moved out of there maybe about 5 years ago. So she had to replace the smoke detectors, which I don't even know if any of them really worked. So I asked her if I could have one of them, which she had no problem with. My uncle had no problem with. The only problem was that one of my cousins, who is a, disregard my clock, I'm sorry. One of my cousins, who is a major asshole, was taking them down. My aunt said, hey, can you save one of those for me? He laughed and threw it right in the garbage because that's just the type of person he is. So I don't know why he didn't throw the cover out, but he threw the alarm, probably because he just placed it down somewhere. Threw the actual alarm out and forgot about the cover. So needless to say, I grabbed this one, and I also have a very heavily nicotine-stained one. So hopefully I can find the base for one of these. But anyways, this one also does 4/6. Okay. Slight pause while I do a battery swap. Alright. Next. This is a Firex 1218. As you can see, this thing is very dirtied, very yellowed, because this was in a house with heavy smokers. As was this cover, and especially the one that I have sitting in a drawer somewhere. Now this one, as you know, is AC/DC. I don't have the AC clip. Here's why. Little funny story about that. I got this out of my, closest, nearest, dearest friend. Love him like a brother, whether he likes to hear it or not. But I got it out of his fiance's grandmother's. Now, disregard my scanner. You should expect that in my videos. But that's Colchester Fire Department. So he called me up at 5:30 in the morning, saying that, he's like, hey, I got a problem. So, I hear that at 5:30 in the morning. I'm thinking the worst. I call him up with like, what's up? Is everything all right? Can you help me take this smoke alarm down? It's been beeping all night. It's driving me nuts. So my response to him was, take it down yourself, you lazy bastard. Now, I thought it was maybe he has an old Sears. I mean, like, when I say old, I want to say early 70s, maybe. I can't think of the model number, and I think it was made by Fryer and Annex. I'll post a picture of it. That I've been on them about replacing so I could obtain. So I thought it was that one. No, it turns out it was this one. And it was mounted on a 15-foot vaulted ceiling. So, being the nice guy that I am, I drove over there and figured out how to get it down. And he, of course, tells me, I was like, oh, let's get a ladder. I don't think there's a ladder over here. Great. So while we're trying to figure out how to get it down, his fiance is just shaking his head saying, don't kill yourself. Her grandmother comes upstairs and says, oh, there's a ladder in the carport. Because she heard all the racket and didn't know what was going on. We didn't wake her up. She was already awake. She was just curious. So, I got a ladder. I hiked up there. And, of course, grabbed on the live wires, which was stupid. And pulled it down. Here's an even better part. There was a paper wasp nest behind it. I just saw the LED blink. That was cool. Well, I should know, since I saw the LED blink, you saw it blink red. When it's hooked up to AC, it'll glow green. If I had the wiring harness, I would demonstrate that. Anyways, there was a paper wasp nest behind it. I did not get stung. Thank God. So after I nearly jumped off this damn 15-foot ladder, I took it down. I took it downstairs, had it in my hand. Asked her grandmother, what would you like me to do with this? She goes, I don't care. Throw it out. So, needless to say, it went home with me. This one does, 4.6 does not have the electromechanical buzzer. I think this was the direct replacement. I assure you it works. Just ran it, I just tested it not too long ago. There. Told you it worked. Next. This behemoth right here. This is a GE Home Century. Okay, GE Home Century 8201201. Now, this one, if I get it open without breaking the cover, I always have difficulty getting this cover open. There we go. Now this one, of course you see it's got the black buzzer in it. Sensing chamber with the classic red button. Now, there are the battery leads right there. That's not 9 volt. It's 12.6 volts. It did come with a battery. It came new in the box off of eBay. Battery is, of course, dead as a doornail. So, unfortunately, I will not be testing this. I'm still on the hunt for the 9 volt equivalent. Now, again, I got this for nostalgic reasons because my grandfather had a 9 volt version in his house. Well, my grandparents, my father's parents, but it used to piss my grandfather off all the time because every time they cook it'd go off. So he'd disconnect it, which my grandmother would always reconnect, but after she passed, he left the damn thing disconnected. Or if he felt intrepid enough, mainly I think if my aunts pestered him enough, he would take 9 volt batteries. Now, he would keep 9 volt batteries in the fridge. Keep them fresh. Or if they went dead, the whole put them in the fridge to freshen them up. So of course he'd put it on, the thing would chirp for a dead battery. He'd pull it out. So half the time I saw the thing open, more than I did closed. I think I only heard it a couple times. So, yeah, so I'm on the hunt for the 9 volt version. Next up, while I can do it, this is a Family Guard 777. I believe my FG 777. This one was an eBay find. They sure seemed to like rectangular and square-shaped smoke alarms back in the day. This one, as you can see, has the old coffin-style chamber, and it's got the electromechanical brass squealer. Now this one I will power up. This one's got an issue. It instantly alarms. So it'll probably go into alarm immediately. You can also hear it's kind of sickly too. So, I don't know what to do about that. So that's mainly there for, I guess you could say, show. I just went over without killing myself. This is a first alert, SA8339WN, 120 volt AC, no battery backup. This was another eBay find. And I got this one. I got this one for grins. I mean, I've only seen a handful of these like installed in person. I mean, the ones that I've seen the most are the ones that have the test button like right there, that do have battery backup. And this one's interesting. I like the way this one beeps. It doesn't do 4656 code 3. It just does just continuous. And you can see it is powered. Not the safest in the world, but I got the lead stuck into an extension cord. That's why I said if I don't kill myself, I don't want the leads coming out and touching me and making a connection. See, it just beeps. Not even that loud, too. Alright, last but not least, and I've been sort of procrastinating on this one. Disconnect this. Make that safe. Is this behemoth right here. This is a Teledyne water pick, model D1. Now you can see it operates on AA batteries instead of 9 volts. Now, of course, there's a video online, a fairly old video that Game Alarm made. He has one of these. So, there's no test button on it. There's only one way to test it. I'm going to make sure that before I get too far, I'm going to make sure that the alarms I had plugged in are disconnected. You might have heard that ee sound. That was the Fire X. Gives the I'm dying. So I did that because there's only one way to test this. I've never tested it. That's with smoke. I don't know if it's gonna go off or not. Just trying to think of the best way to do this. So excuse me while I'm sort of prepping. I don't know if this will be enough, but I'm going to use an incense stick here. Let's see if we can't get it to alarm. Might not. I don't want to sit here all day waiting for it. Incense might not work. Maybe a match. Probably not going to be enough. Of course, who knows if the thing even works or not. Oh well. It certainly smells good from that incense, but unknown if it works. I'll have to figure out a situation to set it up where I can test it properly. Plus, I'm kind of in a rush to do it because my wife's about to be home any second. And I think my next door neighbor might have came home, so I'm gonna wrap this up. So, that's my home smoke detector collection. I'll certainly figure out a way to set the Teledyne off. So, like I said, I probably didn't do it quick enough, didn't let the smoke get into the chamber. I'm sure I was doing stuff wrong, if you will. Probably when I struck that match, it would have been good if I held it up above, but like I said, I'm not going to do that right now, because I'm quite confident. Yeah, my next door neighbor is definitely home, and come to think of my other next door neighbor's home, and they probably think my apartment's on fire. Plus maintenance is in the area too. I don't want to be setting these off for too long, I'll be honest with you. Apartment living. So, yeah, that was my home smoke alarm collection. So, any thoughts of me how I could trip the Teledyne? I'll certainly make a video and try to set it off. I was kind of hoping I'd do it on video, but oh well. You know how that goes. We'll catch you later. Here's a little fun thing. Those of you that have seen the manual, this says that it thunks when the battery is low. I'm trying to get the battery out. Not going to do it now, of course. But it clunked and there it goes. Hear it over my big old loud. There. That was the Teledyne Thunk. So, figured I'd include that as a little bonus.